Ontario's Alcohol and Gaming Commission is proposing a ban on gambling ads that feature athletes and celebrities. The agency says the goal of the ban would be to minimize the potential harm to youth and children. The proposed changes would force operators and suppliers to stop any ads or marketing using active or retired athletes. It would also ban the use of cartoon figures, role models, social media influencers, or other celebrities. To discuss this further, let's bring in Matthew Kalanook, addictions counselor at Last Door Recovery Society in Surrey, BC. Matthew, a pleasure to have you on the program today. Let's get your thoughts on this proposed ban. Do you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a step in the right direction. Thanks for having me on here, Lois. I think that the Government of Ontario, the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario, is making steps in the right direction. When they initially launched their iGaming market back in 2022, they welcomed a number of third-party operators to their platform, and that's in an effort to kind of stamp out the gray market operators. So that was a positive step, but unfortunately, it also kind of opened the door for advertising utilizing celebrities and popular Canadian figures to kind of popularize the services. They've essentially targeted younger men, which are a vulnerable population. When you look at the rates of problem gambling, that population exhibits a significantly higher than average incidence of problem gambling. I mean, the general Canadian population, perhaps about 2% of Canadians 15 years and older exhibit problem gambling, and young men, it's about 7%.
So Matthew, you're mentioning this as being a step in the right direction. Talk to us a little bit more then about, when you talk about young men, you talk about also, in many cases, the audience for a lot of sports and entertainment venues is targeted towards men, young men, men of all ages. Do you think that talking specifically just about athletes or sports celebrities is the way to go, or do you think that there needs to be a broader scope in terms of the measures that are taken here?
Yeah. So the proposed legislation covers off things like influencers on the internet. So more than just sports celebrities, it covers off a broad range of things. But what quantifies that is a bit ill-defined. It's the wording of it is essentially what's reasonably considered to be a recognizable figure. Which I think it needs to be more clearly defined so that there's less wiggle room in terms of what can be advertised, in terms of who they can use to influence people in order to play these games, in order to place bets. So perhaps a little bit finer tuning of the wording. I imagine it's going to cause a bit of disruption in the marketing strategies for a lot of these third-party operators, because essentially they've welcomed themselves into Canadian homes by leveraging Canadian icons, guys like Connor McDavid and Wayne Gretzky and Austin Matthews. These are really big names, and they've used their star power to say, hey, we're in Canada. This is something we're offering. And I think that the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario could hone in and focus in on what to be excluded in order to prevent harm to younger people.
Matthew, is there anything else that you want to see done?
Again, I think this is a step in the right direction. It's great that Ontario is looking at doing this, but online sports betting is legal across Canada in every jurisdiction. So I'm hoping that this framework they're developing could potentially be adopted or implemented in other provinces as well, because Ontario, while it is one of the most populous provinces, is definitely not the only one. And so we need to look out for all Canadians.
Okay, Matthew Kalanook, addictions counselor at Last Door Recovery Society in Surrey, BC. Thank you so much for joining us today.